Over 15 factories in Bauchi State are moribund, leading to massive loss of revenue. 2 years ago, Channels Television brought to the fore the need to get some of the industries working again. Concerned by the development, the state government is set to revive the industries as 6 state-owned establishments are now open for privatization and commercialization. They are Bauchi Furniture, Bauchi Meat Products Company, Galembi Cattle Ranch, Bauchi Fertilizer Company, Zaranda, and Wiki Hotels.
The purpose of this exercise is not to sell the assets of government, no, but to ensure that assets of government are working. Rather than to leave Zaranda Hotel for the next 25 years with only 5 to 10% occupancy, it is better for government to lease out the hotel, make some money, and in the process be able to get about 50–60% occupancy, and in that process create job, create economic activities for the people of Bauchi State.
The financial bid for these companies is now thrown open, and 10 investors have shown interest. The investors have submitted technical and financial proposals. The chairman, Bureau of Public Privatization and Economic Reforms, assures that the bidding process was done in line with standard best practices.
Zaranda Hotels, the lease for 25 years, Broadfield offered to pay 1.2 billion for the period of the 25 years, and Yemsa offered to pay 1.125 billion. Broadfields are the first, they are the preferred bidders, and Yemsa are the reserve bidders.
After 2 rounds of bidding, the state agreed on preferred and reserved bidders. AYM Shafa is the preferred bidder among 3 bidders for the Bauchi Fertilizer Company.
We can assure you that we are going to give you good, level playing field so that we don't have any preferred person or any preferred company.
The state says this is the first step of the financial bid opening. More are expected in the coming days. Hajara Ali, Channels Television News.
All right, for more on the bid to revive moribund industries in Bauchi State, the Bauchi State Deputy Governor Baba Teller joins us from Abuja, the nation's capital. Thank you for joining us, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's start off quickly. You double as the chairman of the Bureau for Public Privatization and Economic Reform. It's commendable to see that government is taking steps to revive moribund factories or companies, as it were. How transparent is the privatization process? What can you tell us about that?
Well, we did whatever we can to make it as transparent as possible. First of all, we advertised for those companies that are to be privatized in the first instance or commercialized in this newspaper on March 12th of this year. And we ask any person who is interested in bidding to submit his technical and financial bid. A number of companies did so for the 6 companies that are slated for commercialization or privatization. And the technical bids were then opened by the Bureau. And a technical committee was set up to evaluate the submissions of those companies that bidded for those moribund industries. Now, after the evaluation, all those bids that were below 50% technically, we called the bidders and we told them that you have not qualified for the next round because your technical bid is below 50%. So we're returning to you your financial bids. And then we set a date for the opening of the financial bids, which took place about 3 days ago or so. And we then ask everybody who has a financial bid there to check the bids and ensure that they have not been tampered with. And they all agreed, yes, their bids have not been tampered with. And we opened the bid in front of everybody, and we announced the bids of everybody in front of everybody for the 6 moribund industries. After that, we said that is the first round. We are now going to go for the second round of the bidding. We'll give you a form, and you can decide to either up your bid or lower your bid, depending on what you want to do. You can adjust your bid. We give you 30 minutes. So we gave them 30 minutes each. We give them the forms 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, they brought back the forms. Some declined their right to alter the bids they have submitted already. Some adjusted their bids, and we announced the final bids as adjusted by them. And we said we'll then present it to the Council on Privatization, and after the recommendation, we'll then push it to the government for final decision. That is how transparent we are, and we took a cue from what has been happening at the BP at the national level as transparently as possible. I can assure you that we don't have any preferred bidder, and we don't have any other person except what we see on paper based on the technical and the financial bids that was submitted to us.
All right, so far so good. So permit me to stretch the commercialization transparency question, a bit further now. Sometimes critics of privatization are worried over who the buyers are. Is this privatization devoid of the seller being the buyer syndrome?
I tell you, I can swear to God, I think I know one company among all the companies that bidded. Only one company that I know, and I don't have any connection with that company. That company happens to be a national company, and everybody will know it, and that's the only thing that I know. Because we opened this thing in front of everybody, and we try to be as fair as possible to every person. If you take the Randa Hotel, for example, like I said in my speech, the Randa Hotel is an 11-story or so hotel, very large, one of the largest in the Northeast. The last time they had more than 1-2% occupancy must have been about 10 years ago or so. So if we can get somebody, we are not selling the Randa Hotel. We are only leasing it for a period of time. If we can get somebody who can get about 6-7 floors operational, that will, ginger up the economic activity in Bauchi State. Take the meat factory, for example. The meat factory is about 50 years old now. It was commissioned in 1965. 1965. That's getting to about 50-something years old now. So, and the last time they slaughter more than 5 cows, it has capacity to slaughter almost 800 cows per day. If the last time they slaughter about 2 or 3 cows must have been 10-15 years ago too. If you see a cow being slaughtered there, the remnants of the workers that are in the place now are the ones that will collect money from amongst themselves, buy one cow, slaughter it, and then go and sell it. If we have somebody who will come and lease it for some time, 10 years, 15 years, and then he will up the slaughtering to about maybe even if there's 50 cows per day. That's good integration, backward and forward integration. If he slaughters 50 cows per day, those selling cows will be able to sell their cows to the factory. Those buying the meat, they will be able to buy good quality meat from the people who are running the factory. And then, of course, people will be employed. There will be people employed, and then economic activity in the area. The whole purpose is for us to have economic activity gingered up in Bauchi State, rather than to have a comatose factory that is lying there for 20, 15 years or so without achieving anything. It is rather for us to either commercialize it or to privatize it so that government can get a little bit of money, ensure that there is good economic activity in that area, in that field. And of course, government does not surrender. It is complete title or complete ownership. If you take the Galambi Ranching Company, which is a part of the meat factory, the Galambi Ranching Company is just a field where the owner of or the person or the company who is running the meat factory can raise up his cows there. That has been lying idle for the last 30, 40 years. Somebody came and offered a price of $1 million for that. So why should you have something that is worth $1 million for you, and then you will not do anything with it? You just leave it there for the next 5 years or so. While if you lease it out for $1 million, you will still have the $1 million. You will have people working in that place, and you will have cows being raised in that place. Not only for the meat factory, but for any other person who wants to buy. This
interesting thoughts indeed.
Behind that, yes.
Interesting thoughts indeed. Thank you so much, Deputy Governor of Bauchi State, speaking to us from Abuja. Deputy Governor Babatella, we thank you for your thoughts on News Across Nigeria.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.